So, Blue, a topic that always interests me is a topic about relationships, because I notice people's behavior outside, things they do, kind of their relationships at home is usually the cause of that. Whether it be a relationship with their mate, a relationship with their parents, they come outside and they behave in a certain manner. There's something, man, it seemed like this been going on forever in terms of men being loyal to women. What, like, Blue, and I want to talk about this.
Fidelity.
Kevin, yes. Yeah, I want to talk about this instance with Kevin Hart, man. We seen it earlier this year with Jay and Beyonce.
Virgo. Yeah.
I mean, Blue, is this something? Is this make-believe? This idea of millions of people on the planet and one person being faithful to one other person? Was this an invention in the Western world? Is it? What's your take on this, Blue?
That question that you asked me, this has been a question that has been lingering for quite some time, not only in our community but abroad as well. You know what I'm saying? And I've heard all of the different takes on it, you know, with people saying that traditionally we were never necessarily a monogamous people, you know. And then I know, of course, there's people that use all sorts of examples to show how monogamy has worked for us as a society. Interestingly enough, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they told me that even on the plantation, we wasn't monogamous. You know what I'm saying? Because there was forced weddings, and as a result, there were forced births. But traditionally, you know, the brother already had his whiz, and his whiz might have been separated from him if she was on a whole nother plantation. You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes, he would go from family to family still and do his things, as it was told to me. So they were saying that even under those circumstances or situations, that institution still couldn't be forced on us. Even if it was arranged and managed and what have you, brothers still was creeping and doing what they doing or following their hearts. You know what I'm saying? But, of course, we're going to ask, you asked me a very logical question. Is it possible for someone to be monogamous in this society? We would have to say, from examples that we've seen, we know, of course, yeah, we've saw the stories about people that have been together for 45, 50, 60 years. You know what I'm saying? And they have a wonderful relationship. They're still happy. Some of them, you know, on some notebook shit, they go through the relationships and they die together, you know. But then you have the statistics that show as well that that very well may be the exception and not the rule. Okay? Because they say men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And according to statistics, we're doing very bad in the monogamy department when it comes to people pairing together, getting married, right, exchanging vows and sticking to them. All right? So why can't a man just keep it at home with one mate? All right? So the question, again, has been a lingering one. Are men, in particular, are melanated men designed to do such a thing? You know what I'm saying? Or are we being forced to try to fit a square in a circle peg? You know what I mean? We're trying to walk this walk that's not naturally us. You know? And there's all of these analogies they use. They'll go and they'll speak about the wild. They say, well, the lion has access to, you know, an entire pride of lionesses and this, that, and the other. You know, niggas want to be lions and shit when it comes to mating, but not when it comes to fighting. So I ain't even gonna go there.
Convenient.
Yeah, you know, so we're not going to make one comparison. Again, I don't feel that we're a monolithic people, so there's no one answer that it applies to all of us. You know what I'm saying? In particular, I haven't been around too many monogamous relationships in my lifetime. I didn't grow up in a household that bore witness to that. I grew up, you know, on one side where I grew up in a polygamous household. you know, with Sabi and them. And I grew up in a situation where my father attempted to practice monogamy, and he was unsuccessful on several occasions, you know?
Right.
So, you know, my examples haven't been that reaffirming in regards to say, look, some of the smartest people I know, some of the most dedicated people I know on this planet, you know, the people that have made breakthroughs, that have made this planet a better place, you know what I'm saying? They have not been the most successful in the department of love, you know, or single role playing love where it's just one partner, you know what I mean? I haven't seen it. I've heard great things about it, but I haven't seen it.
You know, if you go on the forums and you go on the YouTube and Facebook, it's obvious that men at this point in our culture, men have a lot of complaints about our sisters. Whether it's the way they dress, whether it's the way their hair is, whether it's, you know, the way they're behaving on social media with the twerking or whatever. But it seems as though everything that we say we don't like that the sisters is doing is a direct cause of our infidelity. And what I mean by that is, when a man cheats on a woman continuously and these sisters see men are not faithful, they want to become more desirable. So what do? They'll get butt implants. So the brother's complaining about something the sister did just so she could be more desirable, hoping you will be faithful to her. What does? She might be gay. A lot of sisters are gay now because they're like, yo, if you're gonna be with another woman, bring her here. We can have a threesome. So a lot of sisters is going the gay route just to please their man so their man won't roam. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They see the brothers like white girls. So what do? They get straight hair. They get blonde hair. They get contacts in their eyes. Then we complain about that. So it seems as though everything we complain about, it seems as though the cause of that is women are just trying to be more desirable to men, hoping, Blue, that they be faithful. Could you talk to me about that?
I mean, your summary kind of summed it up, you know? And we've spoken about this, you know, on different occasions, especially when it comes to men wanting to shame women on every single topic and every single subject. You know, we've had to remind people, our viewership, that a lot of things that women do are a direct result of, you know, trying to please men or trying to be more accommodating to whatever men's appetites are at the particular moment. You feel me? Because we are driven by a primal force on this universe, okay? My generation, at least, from what I can identify, and that's procreation. You know what I'm saying? That's the primal force that people are normally driven by. I can't really tell these days what this generation is driven by because they don't want to procreate. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if the rules apply. We might be in a different place in this jungle ideology that I'm talking about. But in terms of, you know, where I was raised and how I was raised, there's a primal instinct that drives us, you know what I'm saying? And it's mating. All right, so let's strip it down. The base desire is mating, you know what I'm saying? What complements from that is procreation. But now we're just talking about mating, period. All right? So a woman who wants to be more desirable, right? Apparently she wants to be chosen, but I was also taught that women do the choosing. So if she wants to be chosen, right, especially now because she's dealing with a numbers game. If there's 7-to-1 women, you know what I'm saying? What powers of choosing does she necessarily have intact? The choice is up to him because he got a hell of a lot to pick from. So she's going to do what she feels or she deems necessary to conform with whatever the criteria is that men are saying, this is what I'm into today. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm looking at. And in particular, right, if we're playing by primal jungle rules, then it's also going to be what the alphas are into necessarily. Even though I'm seeing a lot of baddies out there with nerds. That's a whole nother segment. Okay? And I don't know if that's a result of dating apps or Twitter. A whole nother segment. But, you know, we do see women doing a lot of things to conform, you know, to whatever the mating call of the moment is. When we strip it down, you feel me? We're just talking base at this particular point. We ain't gonna dress it up. We're stripping it down. And that's what we see, you know? But niggas is always gonna find something to complain about. Even if they got it every which way that they want it, they still gonna complain. You understand? A man can have 2, he want 3. He had 3, he want 4. Okay? He got 4, then he gonna want to bring in Barbie or something that's gonna mess up the equilibrium of what the 4 already has established as foundation. You know what I'm saying? That's the nature of men, especially niggas. We fuck everything up. Okay. So that's my take on that. I don't know. I hope I answered your question.
So I mean, in a situation, Blue, the situation with Kevin Hart, in many situations, when a man cheats, and a woman, say a woman decides to do something grimy, like take the dude's money, half his money, or take the kids or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, they say there's no, what's the saying? Hell have no fury.
Like a woman
scorned.
Right.
Is her actions excusable once you cheat because you done hurt a part in her heart that can't be repaired? So, you know.
Yeah, we men, I'm speaking for myself in particular, we really don't get, you know, this whole aspect of a woman scorned. We don't really understand the totality of a hurt woman, a scorned woman. You feel me? You know, because there's extremities that we have to go through in order to feel and sustain pain. So they say. But like I said the last few segments ago, it's niggas that, you know, they mother wrung their ear when they was 3 and they hate women today because of that.
Right.
You feel me? They still damaged from spankings that they got from back then. Okay? But we can't perceive how a woman feels when we break a woman's heart, or why she's carrying that wound for the last 5, 6, or 10 years. You know what I'm saying? We don't seem to like quite get that. And we do it deliberately and we do it continuously. You know?
And with no remorse, too.
And with no remorse. And I'm not speaking to the totality of all the men out there. I'm speaking to the habitual offenders, you know, of which I have been a member of that club. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I didn't have no perception of what this person's level of hurt was. You know what I mean? I think I almost got a level of gratitude out of it, you know? And that was the devilish part of me. Yeah, absolutely. So with somebody like Kevin Hart, who this ain't the first time that he done stepped out on a relationship that he's been in. You know what I'm saying? There's patterns that, you know, not only I'm saying that women have to notice, but men as well. You know what I mean? And you have to create a certain protectorate for yourself so you don't fall into these traps, especially if you notice what the patterns are. Like, I was able to identify what my patterns are. You know what I'm saying? I was able to identify. So now I get in relationships, I kind of start sharing what my patterns are so I can get help before they even pop up. Like, look, this is what normally happens. This is how it normally happens. You know what I'm saying? Please be my extra eyes and my extra ears, because sometimes you don't even see it coming on because it becomes so normal to you. Before you know it, you know, you in the mix again. You know? You in the mix. And it's just, you know, if you're used to taking shots and you find yourself at the free throw line, God damn it. So Kevin Hart probably passed up 100 opportunities. You know what I'm saying? to get down and dirty and do the do with all the women that must have been throwing it at him. He must have had 1,000 opportunities, and he fell weak, okay, on this one situation, and he caved in. So they say, you know what I mean? And I mean, I just think like galactically, celestially, just might be the wrong time. You feel me? We're living in the era of 444. Like, he's an album off. It's a wrap.
Blue, I mean, the culture we live in, at the same time, it seems as though what we call side chicks is getting so much recognition in the media, but they have a very bad reputation just as far as being home wreckers, destroying the home. Do you blame the women out here because you say there may be a shortage of men, or because they may not be able to pick men, or because they got the short end of the stick of a man with a man? Do you blame women that have no problem going after another sister's husband? I mean, do you look at that as just nature, as something like that? Because it seems like,
like I said, we primal. They are self-identifying savages, man. Okay? Ain't no rules out here no more. You feel me? Like, the women is competing for your dude, the trannies is competing for your dude. There are no rules. When you tell me, okay, that you can't even regulate that, and society is telling you, look, put your hands down, you just gotta take it like a man, all right? When we live in a society like that, okay, that you don't even have no reinforcement for being duped, let alone catfish from a whole situation, yeah, there's the rules have been eroded. And I think, women have somewhat thrown certain rules out of the window a long time ago because they feel that they have been wrong before, right? They've been converted to say, look, niggas don't care. You know what I'm saying? All men are dogs. You know what I mean? And they're going to fall for this trick every chance. So a woman might have been hurt, and they might have been scorned to a degree where they're like, look, I'm not going to spare another household. You know what I mean? I'm going to do what I got to do. Right? Again, we live in a very hypersexualized environment. If she's not getting off because the percentages are not in her favor, then what is she going to do? Because she's not going to suppress that sexuality. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to suppress that sexuality. So when she's done with the plastic, you know what I'm saying? When she's done with the Young and Mays of the world, you feel me? She wants some real stuff. And, I don't know if dudes is out here selling wood like they selling box. You feel me? But, if she can get into a situation where she knows she can wag her tail feather and he's going to come running, well, guess what? It's going down.
In terms of our philosophy with women and us looking at the numbers and us saying we outnumber women and us saying that's our nature, considering that when you listen to what Jay...
We outnumber women?
Yeah, they say we outnumber women 7-1, right? That's what you just said?
No, women.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. Women outnumber men. Yeah, right. Yeah. So because that'll be our reason for saying we need multiple women, and the sun orbits around planets. You've heard it all. The lion, use the example of the lions. I mean, we come up with all types of ish when we want to do what we want to do.
I didn't heard it all.
But it seems as though, when you listen to Jay's album and you listen to some of the talks he have, and we heard it before, but using them as an example, it seems as though men are failing to see the bigger picture in terms of how you cheating on Blue Pill, cheating on this girl could affect 5 generations of your family. So let's say you cheat on your girl. Y'all break up. Now your girl treats your son bad because her son reminds her of you. Now that your son got treated bad by his mother, so he mistreats his wife. So now that he mistreats his wife, yeah, it just goes on and on, all because of Blue Pill decided to cheat on his girl. So do you think we have to start looking at it not from what Nate they outnumber us, but from what Jay was talking about? I'm not gonna risk Blue for menage a trois. Like, he almost messed up having Blue just to have two women in bed. Are we looking at it from the wrong perspective, Blue Pill?
I mean, again, when we're talking about family, we're talking about longevity, we're talking about legacy, we're talking about the continuity of, a two-parent household. And yes, we want to raise our children with a level of decorum that is teaching this child family values. Yeah, if we're thinking like that, if we're moving like that, if we're operating like that as a people, yes, then not being faithful, not keeping your woman happy, right, to maintain that happy home is very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? It's very dangerous, and you run the risk of, there's a myriad of things that I can say that you're running the risk to create, right, by damaging the home. You know what I'm saying? Because that woman is going to offset that pain at some point, and your child is going to be fed that. You know what I'm saying? And your child, in fact, can, grow up to be.
In the future, your son might play football with, what he said, in the future.
Future with your son. Like, yeah. You got to live in a self-perpetuating living hell. I know the future is living in a self-imposed living hell. So whatever he was attempting to numb, whatever pain he was attempting to numb himself from, right, dealing with his upbringing and, whatever other situations that he was attempting to run from, I know that the one that's very real that hurts the most is not only the fact that, he's no longer with the woman who he had desired most, right, but that woman has your child around a man who I'm sure, every chance, whether it's subtle or not, is she's trying to express to this young child, look, this is the man that I wish I had you with. You know what I'm saying? This is the model of a real man, unlike your father, okay? And then, she turned around and have a child from that man on top of all of that. So now this child is enjoying a family setting, a stable family setting, you know what I'm saying, with a man who he's watching his mother give all of the love and the praise to, bear this man another child, you feel me? And whenever he sees you or hears about you, even if it's not now in this particular situation, that child is going to grow up to see all of the things that man has done to underhand his mother, you feel me? And it's going to be a very rocky relationship, So in regards to, who that child models their life after, in regards of who that child ultimately says, you know what, this was the father in my life. I don't know what you was doing. You understand? Yeah. He runs the risk of, running into a headache that is being developed at this particular time, that, all of the lean in the world is not going to be able to numb you from that pain.
I did a segment with Red a little while ago, and we was looking at the Census Bureau, and they were saying how African Americans are at the bottom of the list in terms of income. And part of that reason is because of the single parent households. When we have problems in relationships, Blue, whether it be infidelity or other problems, do you think we should still stay together in that household for the sake of the household and for the sake of the children? Or because of your personal health, you don't want to stay in a toxic situation, so you have to leave? What do you think would be the best solution for us as a community moving forward?
I mean, again, there's no monolithic answer to that question, meaning that there might be a situation that works for some people who are a little bit more stronger, like, if that was your friend before y'all became lovers, you know what I'm saying? And you got in a situation where, you bore a child and for whatever reason it didn't work out. You cheated or she cheated and you had to slide, you know what I'm saying? But you came back because you couldn't stand not being around your child. You wanted to be there even if you wanted to cast the illusion for this child that y'all was together or willing to put in that work for this child, or if that child knew that y'all both was there but y'all not together. You know what I'm saying? Again, that could be a potentially dangerous situation as well. You know? In particular, some of the cases that I've heard that haven't worked, you know what I'm saying, is that shorty, you know, she pops off at certain points. Like, she ain't feeling you, she's gonna let it be known. You know? Can she sit on that forever in a day? You know, she's constantly reminded of your infidelity and the hurt that you caused her. You might be physically there in the household, but she can't get over the fact of what you have done to destroy the trust, you know, erode the relationship. And now she's frustrated. She's not having sex, you know what I'm saying? And if she is, she's not having it on her terms. You know, she's seeing you in the house. It's reminding her of all that frustration. It's reminding her of, you know, just whatever. You know, women are imaginative. They'll bring up the way they stack their cases. I can't even begin to tell you. So you're going to catch the frying pan at some point. You know what I mean? It's just not going to be a healthy situation. Okay? And, you know, and then there's a possibility that there are ways in which you can work that thing out. You know, if this was your friend prior to that, you know, and she know about your tendencies, but she needs you to be there because she needs you to be example in little man's life. And, you know, she can hold that pain and she can metamorphose it into something else. You understand? Or y'all are able to talk and come to some sort of conclusion, and y'all are just friends like that. That's a possibility as well. I haven't really seen that thing work too much like that. But Donald Trump is president. Anything's possible.
I definitely appreciate your time, Blue, and I definitely appreciate these conversations dealing with relationships. Like I said, it's the behind-the-scenes thing that's causing a lot of people to behave, to troll, to leave a hateful comment right now. Oh. So it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're angry.
So
they're home angry.
Yeah,
things
so
just ain't working out.
Yeah, so
I get it.
Yeah, so I definitely appreciate the relationship talk. Gonna have to have a roundtable discussion with some sisters in the near future. Leave your contact info for the people to hit you up.
Yes, Blue Pillar 44. That's BLUEPILLAR 44. That's on Instagram. You also can use that for the Gmail. bluepillar44@gmail.com. A paranormal, my power pieces.
Yeah, I know they're gonna ask about that sweater.
All that good stuff. Yeah. Alright. This ain't on my site though. My dude, Chicago Playground, he made this for me. Alright. I'm trying to work on this collaboration so we could bring some of these dope threads to you. But in the meantime, in between time, paranormal.com. Peace.
And also, before we sign out, shout out to everybody on Patreon showing support. Make sure you download the Know the Ledge app.
Shout out to the patrons on Patreon.
Everybody donate on PayPal. We appreciate the support and just for tuning in. And shout out to the person that did this mural and this beautiful sister behind us.
Queen. That
was inspiring us to talk about relationships and try to continue to figure out this problem that we're having in our culture.
Yeah, like, we need to keep it 100 with her. Okay? She don't deserve fidelity. Huh? She don't deserve fidelity. We can't put her on her throne to keep her there. We can't edify her and elevate her. Huh? If not her, then who? Question. Okay?
And on that note, we signing out, family. Peace.